Hey guys, Steven from STORSquare here, coming to you with another episode of Between Two Squares, where I interview different local partners in the area and different businesses and ask them how they're dealing with COVID and how they're dealing with their businesses. And today I have Beth Usry, owner of Purpose Properties, and she's located in the Atlanta area. Beth, thanks for hopping on with us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For sure, Beth. Well, let's hop right into it. Tell us about Purpose Properties and what you do.
So, Purpose Properties started as a hobby. I got interested in real estate, I would say going on 5 years ago now. And the reason that I was interested in real estate was the reasoning of thinking that I was not going to have retirement. I'm 36. I don't mind saying that. And seeing what's happened with in our economy before COVID even happened, I just don't believe that when it comes time, Social Security is going to be there for my age group. And so I just wanted to be proactive and start learning other opportunities and things that I can do. And as I progressed in my education and I started learning more and more of what I didn't know, it really enlightened me to see how many opportunities there really are within real estate to create what we consider in the industry a cash flow retirement. Because in the grand scheme of things, say you want to retire at 65, right? And you need $10,000 a month to live at 65. You may or may not be getting that Social Security check. So how are you going to get that $10,000? And even if you are getting that Social Security check, I guarantee you it's not $10,000. So if you wanted to live off of that at this day and age, not including inflation or anything like that, you would need to have $6.5 million saved in the bank. I don't know many people that are very good at saving, so much less saving $6.5 million. I knew I couldn't do that. However, I knew I could create $10,000 worth of cash flow. And so that's what really started igniting my engines and really started intriguing me a little bit more about how this could actually happen. So fast forward a few more years, we're going on about 2.5 years now. I got introduced to a community of local investors that just completely changed the trajectory of my life. I continue to learn things that I didn't know. I started applying that. It accelerated my credit because I learned the principle of velocity banking and so many fundamental financial things that we should have been taught in high school that we're not, because the government can't benefit from it this way. And so by learning that, I was able to first pay off some of my student loans. Everybody out there, I think, has student loans. And by paying off 3 of these 5 that I have, I still have 2 more that I'm working on. But just those 3 alone saved me $250,000 in interest, which is just baffling to me to know, right? And so that is what really started snowballing my ability to purchasing properties. So there's 4 strategies in real estate that most people know about. You've got your fix and flips, which is your HGTV kind of stuff. Just buyer beware. You know, it's not that easy. There's a lot of things that can go wrong within that. It's a lot of fun, but you have to be educated and you have to have your teams if you're going to do fix and flip. You need cash. You have to have a lot of cash to do fix and flips. So there's that. You also have wholesaling, which is the way a lot of people get into real estate because it's easy to do. You don't necessarily take ownership of the property. You're simply getting the property and assigning it to somebody else. And then you kind of get a bonus out of it. It's almost like a finder's fee, if you will. Then you have the investor side of it, like the lending part, which is the big boy game. Like that's your ultimate goal. If you want to get into real estate, you want to be the bank. Who doesn't want to be the bank? Like I just told you, I saved $250,000 in interest that would have gone to the bank. Wouldn't you want that $250,000 in interest by loaning it out to somebody else? So my strategy to get to that point is through buy and hold properties. That's something that I specialize in, and it's not going to be an immediate return for me, but if you're doing real estate is a long game. It's not a get rich quick scheme thing, and for those of y'all out there that think that it is, you are widely miseducated because it is not. It's not a sprint, it's a complete marathon. And because of that, I use certain strategies that we can work with home buyers or retired landlords or somebody that maybe has to move quickly for a job. You know, they've got a challenge with their real estate. And that's where we can come in and we consider ourselves PPS, professional problem solvers. So there is a challenge with your home. Let's come in, let's talk about it. Let's be open to creative ways because there are creative ways out there that we can help a homeowner move on to the next chapter of their life. If they need to get rid of this property. So unfortunately, as you know, you mentioned the whole COVID thing that's happening right now, come Q3, Q4, it's not, I don't believe it's going to be on the spectrum of what 2008 through 2010, 11-ish was. However, there is definitely going to be a recession coming. If you think about it, come July, if homeowners put their mortgages in deferment, most of them didn't realize when they put it into deferment that they're going to have 4 months of mortgage payments due at once when that comes in July. So if they couldn't afford it then, can they afford it then? Now, when that time comes in July, do they still have their job? There's so many things that can come into fact to that. Not only this is happening with mortgages, but they're doing it with car insurance as well. Credit cards are as well. So if it wasn't like in the fine print that it gets added to the end of your loan, there's tens of thousands of dollars that are going to come due come July, August, and September. And so those families that know that maybe they're going to be put in that situation, I invite you to please reach out to me. Let's get ahead of it. There may be some things that we can go ahead and talk to your mortgage company to do to save your home, because I'm not in the business of taking your home. I'm in the business of helping you try and save your home if we can, and if not, move on and do it in a way that's not going to continue to damage your credit. I can't say that I'm going to save your credit, but there are aspects that we can do that can definitely help improve it in certain ways on the mortgage side of it, because there's so many things that go into people's credits, like credit cards and lengths of credit history and things like that, that I as a partner wouldn't have any control over helping you with. Yet on the mortgage side of it, we could come up with some kind of creative acquisitions in it. So that's kind of, I know, long-winded as to your question, but that's how and why I got started with Purpose Property.
Beth, I think the first thing that people will notice is your passion for this, and the reason why you got into this and your wealth of knowledge. So I did expect this to get a little long-winded, but that's great. You have a lot of stuff to share, and that's totally fine. Another question for you too, and you may have touched on it a bit, but what's the best thing about your job and what you do? What do you love about it?
Freedom. Absolutely freedom. I get to do what I want to do, and without things that I had in place before COVID hit, I have no idea what I would be doing right now, because I would be one of the unemployed people. And you know, I'm very blessed that I have income coming in, but I have the freedom to make my own schedule, and I have the freedom to do what I want to do.
I love it, Beth. Next question. How do you use STORSquare in your business, or how have we helped you before, and how can you see us helping you in the future?
Oh my goodness, in so many ways. As I mentioned before, if we are talking to a distressed family that maybe needs to move or relocate to another area, that may be one of the creative ways that we can help create the package that, you know, let me offer to bring STORSquare here to your home. You pack it up. When the day comes, we'll move it to your new residence as kind of a courtesy for working through this process with us. In addition, I'm heavily looking at you for my Macon properties right now. I've got two dwellings that are completely studded out. I'm waiting on windows to come, but as soon as those windows come, I have 2 bulk orders of all of my other materials that need to be there. And some things need to be there when other contractors get there. So it's an awesome opportunity that if I go ahead and get showers and toilets and vanities and things like that, they can be sitting in the STORSquare. So I don't necessarily have to be on the property when those contractors come. They can go ahead and install what they need out of that STORSquare pod, and I just have everything there ready for them to go.
Beautiful. That sounds awesome. And another, just kind of an add of what STORSquare does for you guys is they are completely steel containers, top, bottom, and the sides. So when you do have these valuable items and a bunch of them stuck in a place where you're not able to be all the time, it's a great way to keep your items safe. So that's a great solution. One last thing, Beth, straight from the source, straight from the real estate professional themselves, can you leave the people watching this video just like an industry tip, some sort of value add that they can take and use in their daily life?
Absolutely. If you're really interested in getting into this, educate yourself. Don't just go out there and think that you can do it on a whim. You can. Don't get me wrong, you can. It's just going to cost you a lot more. So if you want to minimize your risk in this, because it's a very, very risky industry, just educate yourself. Plug yourself into a community. If you're interested in learning more about getting plugged into the Atlanta community, you're more than welcome to text PURPOSE to 21,000, and that will connect you with me, and then I can get you connected to our community. We meet at least 3 times a week. different parts of the city, doing property tours, doing masterminds, doing all kinds of things. And it's great to kind of collaborate with each other. So that would be my biggest suggestion is don't go at this by yourself. You need a team, and a team is going to make you so much more successful no matter what you do in life. It helps because you don't know everything, and you shouldn't try and know everything because you don't have the same walk of life as somebody else. And just be open to change and be open to knowing what you don't know.
That's great. That actually leads into my final question. You kind of touched on it. If people wanted to get in touch with you and figure out how they can work with Purpose Properties, I'm sorry, they text the word purpose to 21,000, text container to get STORSquare, purpose to get Beth. Is that correct?
That is correct. We are in a digital age, and so having a digital business card is absolutely phenomenal. So if you do text purpose to 21,000, it will send you a link, and within that link you'll get a copy of my digital business card. And in the bottom corner, the bottom right hand corner, there's a little icon, and it just boom automatically saves to your phone. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me. I'm available anytime, and I love answering questions. So if you think that it's something that you're curious about and just want to know a little bit more, please feel free to reach out.
Excellent. Well, Beth, thank you once again for coming on. If any of you want to get in touch with her, text purpose to 21,000. If you're looking for a STORSquare, text container to 21,000. That'll reach me directly. Glad to help you out. Thanks again, Beth, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Have a good one.